service. I don't know. It's kind of funny. You miss that little spot out there, and then you miss that, you got to go down and get that little spot again.
We had quite a game here yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
We'll see what happens today, but it was 5-4 Sharks.
That was what?
5-4. Actually a close game because everything I've been covering has been on 20-0, 13-2.
Yeah. The team over here, I guess they're struggling to say the least. I don't know. The players are good guys showing up and things like that.
So the Zebras are starting to make their way to the ice. John and are with you at the Red Rink at Lakeland Arena. It is the last of the 5-game homestand for the Waterford Sharks. They are trying to go a perfect 5-0-0. They will be playing the Detroit Warhawks. I looked at their lineup across the game sheet. Again, look to be a little bit shorthanded. They are 0-7 on the year, the same record as the Sheboygan Wendigo, but I have said many times when we've talked about the Detroit Warhawks in the past, their record is not what it looks like because you had that game, the second game of the season at Lakeland between these two. Lakeland did win, but it was 11-8, and it was one of the best offensive showcases for the Warhawks for the year. I don't know if they're going to be able to replicate that officially tonight, but it's important that the Sharks build off of that 5-4 win. They had to come back a couple times against the Michigan Shadow yesterday because they start again on the road next weekend. They have another Saturday and Sunday at their hands. They end with the Sheboygan Wendigo. I think they'll start with the St. Ignace Saints on Saturday. So when we get toward the end of this game, I will lay out the broadcast as far as what's next for the Sharks and when we will see you again. But the short answer is it'll be in 2026. So you want to finish off this homestand right. You'd expect the Sharks to pick up 2 points today, and we'll see what they do. Again, that 10 goal scored was broken. The Sharks have pretty much done that in double digits in every other game, and we'll see what we get tonight. They are rocking the alternate jerseys one more time, trying to go 2-0-0 in those. So as the players will make their way to the ice set for the anthems, I will pause, and then we will bring you into the action. Darren Buchanan, Paul Lochner, Brennan Thielen, Eddie Canyon will wear 26, Chris Barzik 21, Kyle Kabinski, Zach Kerr. On defense for the Warhawks, it looks like Isaiah Hyatt, Jake Fry, Tommy Morgan, and Justin Green. They've added TJ Simpson, number 11, and Nate Austin, number 39, looks to be the only goaltender of the day. I didn't see Michael Schwanke, the former Shark.
Welcome to your game between the Detroit Warhawks and Waterford Sharks. Starting lineup.
So let's see if I can do this off the top of the dome. So the same starters from yesterday. Let's list those first for the Sharks. Cole Haugamo, Zach Molkowski, Nolan Baldrika, Brennan Sherwalk, Kieran Carlisle, Alex Sharp, Hunter Keppel, Andrew Polsha, and Justin McComas. Joel Skolin is going to be in the lineup today as one of the newer additions. Josh Hill will make another return. For the defense, there's been a lot of changes in from yesterday. So now Theo Goody gets to stay around here. And we'll see if they put Spencer Bowman back on D, the captaincy, because you only got 6 circled there. He has shuffled. But we're going to add in Christopher Martin, Jake Prober, Chris Seeley, and the head coach Teller Groth will suit up today. He'll wear number 29, Ian Morton. This time we'll get the start. Jacob Gilliam will be the backup. So as we mentioned before, against the Warhawks, this might be a little bit of a B- unit here for the Sharks, but again, just as effective. And if you're the Warhawks, you really got to get off to a good start. I would say you can't be down more than 3 or 4 goals after one period, as this will be stick chopped away a couple times. And toward the right side, and now we'll get a rush for the puck, and that'll be an icing against the Sharks. Again, when I reached out to Cooper Hopkins yesterday, I did want to give you that answer there as far as what he thought of the jerseys. We agreed on San Jose and Anaheim, but he said maybe even with that striping, a little bit of NJ Devils in the mix of it as well. And when he told that to me, I said, I see it now. And I really like those alternates because, again, it mixes exactly what you're supposed to do in terms of the color scheme, be completely different as a third jersey. And it looks even better when you win in them. So Baldrika now on his forehand. And try to make a shovel pass, bounces off a couple of skates, pick it right back up. Nolan can walk in and shoot. Good save for Nate Austin. As I mentioned in the open, I believe he's going to be the only goaltender that is carried here for the Warhawks. So he is going to be a busy boy back in behind the net as we are just inside 1 minute of the first. Long outstretched pass, and this will be connected there for the Warhawks for a moment. Reverse hit. He picked up now for Detroit. Back in toward the right side dot. It'll be intercepted now for Brennan Sherwalk. Sherwalk now finds the entry straight up the gut. Good stick in the lane. Will deny an opportunity here for Waterford as this picked up near the right side dot. Players take a tumble as the Sharks will send it toward the net, but that's where Austin is. He's got it with the glove hand. So I'm going to take one more look inauspiciously in this game sheet just to see if anything else will come across. Now, number 23 is Kate Lambin on my roster sheet, but I didn't see that in today for the list for the Warhawks. But I'm going to have to go ahead and call that name because we got a 23 on the ice. Here's an opportunity back and behind the net. Spencer Bowman trying to do some work off the tie-up. And toward the right side, this will be finally lodged loose. Alex Sharp will send it back, and Nate Austin, he got hit, bumped as he pops back to his feet. The Warhawks netminder as he circles around the end boards. OU product Alex Sharp. Got it one more time. Send it toward the back side of the crease. And this will be flipped back down. Chris Seeley make his return today as this will go back for the Sharks, and Christopher Martin find the outlet pass. Spencer Bowman shovel toward the net. He looked for a hop shot, maybe even a back pass toward the back post, but that'll be held. I don't think I've ever used that during the play-by-play. Sometimes I feel like I just make up things as we go along in the stream of consciousness, but it is 2 games in 2 days. Gotta have some fun, like we usually do in the broadcast booth. Joel Skolin will take this O-zone draw for Waterford. Back toward the forehand turn, and this will be won by the Warhawks, and they're going to try to go left to right in the white jerseys in the mix of the gold and a little bit of black on the pants. Picked up now off the backhand for Theo Goody. Try to take this one right to left of the Waterford Sharks. Again, they got the orange with the white and black stripes. Theo Goody finds the entry. Good leave. A wrist shot. And Nate Austin could not hold, but this will get down through the neutral zone. And have to start again as Howland, Michigan native Jake Prober. This pass a little bit too far for Skolin as the Warhawks content to send it back into the zone. picked up off the spin and turn for Paul Lochner. And we'll go ahead and send this in for the Warhawks. That's where Ian Morton is. This is a big fan and a pass. This has got to be an opportunity, and the Warhawks cannot take advantage of it. That was handed to them on a silver platter, as this is an opportunity for Cole Helgamo. He was the hero in yesterday's game. Pass on the front, looking for McComas. Cole's still with it and behind the cage. Finally gets dispossessed after a couple Warhawks get some effort off some outstretched sticks. Recollected now for Paul, spin and turn, and calmly send it into the zone and take his change for Jake Tomalak's squad. Referee got in the way of that outlet pass, but no matter here, the Sharks racing across the left wing. McComas off the drop feed, one more touch combination play, and it is a rush for the Warhawks here. Let's see if they do. They can't connect the pass. And just to McComas, one of the Warhawks just takes a tumble right in front of the players' benches. Little sleepy start here for the Warhawks. Probably should have had 2 golden scoring opportunities here just inside this first 5 minutes. Cross ice feed. Be a spin and turn collect for Darren Buchanan. And this will be catapulted in behind the inboards. McComas picks it up one more time, and that one's coughed up, but the Sharks will recollect with Cole Helgamo. A couple of dangerous feeds here for Waterford. Again, not the start you would have really expected to come into this, because again, you have to kind of get back up for matchups like these, but 5-0-0 potentially on the homestand is all you really need before you go back on the road to give yourself, if you need to, in a 5-game road stand, a courtesy loss, because at some point you think it's going to happen. Back in behind the net, but not wishing for it nonetheless, as this one's picked off again, and then offsides is Lochner. So as we end this 5-game homestand tonight, the Sharks will be on the road for 5. And as I mentioned, again, I'll talk about this when we get toward the end of the broadcast, but our next Sharks broadcast isn't going to be until 2026, January 17th on a Saturday against these same Warhawks. So you're going to want to have all the good feelings heading into the new year, trying to get another 2 points tonight. Kieran Carlisle off the steal. He'll spin, try to buy some time. This is a 5-hole save for Nate Austin. And we get a stoppage at 14:52. Again, I know we have this score clock behind us as I watched a little bit of yesterday's feed, but just in case that bounces in and out, I always try to throw those out there regardless, just to make sure anyone that's joining in can follow along as this goes toward the left side post after a missed slap shot. Lochner now in his own end will pirouette, try to buy some time. He got Austin Hickner with him on the left side wing. Passes too far off his blade, but he should be able to get a retrieval here. Warren's going to have to come out of his goal crease near the right side. Kieran Carlisle got some work to do on his backhand. Shovel feed ahead for Andrew Pawolsha. Only had the 1 assist last night, but it was a win. And that 5-4 victory over the Shadow. Carlisle tried to do some dancing between his legs. Little overskate, lost the puck. Warhawks now collecting their own end. Good forechecking here. They actually got 2 up front for the Sharks. Got to be careful any of those potential breakouts. As Lambin's chance gets knocked away from Morton, closes it with the left pad. This is just kept in on the blue line side, says the referee. Sharks now looking for an outlet pass, but that one bounces off the blade of Baldrika and loop into the corner. Lochner on his forehand, look to start again. You got some red pants in the mix of the black pants. Kind of wonder if those are almost non-contact, but we're live during the game as this one gets sticked away from Lochner. Now in towards center ice. Good move for the captaincy and Spencer Bowman. Bowman wrister, this one blocked off the left skate. That one hurt a little bit. Don't get a lot of protection there. Cross ice feed looking for Alex Sharp as this one sent in the corner. What a back pass from Hill. And this one will get knocked away. That was a good idea. 13 minutes there about in the first, about 7 minutes expired. We're still scoreless. And this bounces in front of the blue paint. Warhawks just trying to get it out of their own end. Looks like they inadvertently iced it. So Zach Grego, again, congratulations to the recently married man, was not involved in these last 2 games, as I heard a PA announcer that I was not familiar with, but you did a good job there for the Sharks. I'd imagine to get that on last second duty as we take this last of the 5-game homestand in. John Hunter with you from the Red Rink at Lakeland Ice Arena alongside Go Live Sportscast. One more icing here for the Warhawks, so they're going to have some tired players on the ice. Tommy Morgan, captaincy cannot change. Some of the things I see across social media, Facebook, the minor league hockey pages and things like that, they said the chemistry in the Warhawks locker room is very, very good because of guys like number 27, Tommy Morgan, and I have to believe it. They did want to get Zachary Ashley back and get his big fists in the lineup, but I didn't see him playing in today's game either. Chance for a Goody. Rebound. Austin looked behind him actually, but it lofted over the right side boards. Warhawks now will stop and turn off the rush. That's an excellent effort there for Kyle Kabinski, as this is picked up one more time. And toward the left side boards, I think Eddie Canyon might actually be wearing that number 23. I don't see a 26 on the ice, as Goody got it sticked away from him for a moment. And this will be flipped back down. Start again for Alex Sharp on the back skate, and that pass eludes everybody, and the Sharks have iced the puck now, so there has been a lot of these early in this first. You know, sometimes when we get to these off the back-to-back, considering the opponent after the emotional game that you just played, you think you kind of have to get your sea legs underneath you before the game starts. It's kind of what it looks like right now, but again, tons of time in this one. There is nothing to say that the Sharks can't score another 10 goals with the unit that they have on the ice. Spencer Bowman. Another sharp angle chance. This one bounces off a stick plate. He has been certainly aggressive in his chances. He will now go to the bench as this bounces off the outside of the cage. But now the Warhawks get possession. Good pass straight up toward the left wing now, trying to cut across the side, looking for a back feed, and that one just misses for Austin Hickner's stick. It's kept in the lane, and the Sharks have some work to do. And behind the cage, this is lifted just outside that blue line. And off the back pass, Tommy Morgan, that was an excellent feed, as this will be recollected, and look out over there, a clean body check, still stays in the zone, and Ian Morton will save this and let it out of the trapper, and the Sharks can start with a breakout. That was a beauty of a pass for Hunter Keppel, but stick in the lane there for the Warhawks, break up the play. Sent back in behind the end boards. That's where Christopher Martin is. And off the rush now. Hunter Keppel waiting on that right wing, looking for a cross-ice feed from Olkowski. This one broken up, and offsides is the call. Trying to cheat for offense there was Austin Hickner, but when the Warhawks were at their best, I know it was 11-8 loss in week 2 at Lakeland, that was a lot of what we saw. Little two-line passes that you used to not be able to do in the late 90s in the NHL, but you can do that now and try to cheat for offense and get in front for Jake Tomalak's squad and catch the Sharks. Not necessarily napping, but you want to get those breakouts when you can't get it out of your own zone. Be an O-zone draw here. Must be a penalty for the Warhawks. Thought I saw a 5 on the ice though, but his offensive draw nonetheless probably shouldn't have been. Either way, this one gets sent down the ice. Start again now for the Warhawks. There's a tip play. This will go back to D. Bounces off the chest of Morton. Justin McComas. Good pass. Able to get this into the neutral zone for Cole Halgamo. Halgamo now looking for a backdoor feed, and that one will bounce harmlessly. Tyler Groth on the back end with Chris Seeley, as they'll watch this one get looped in for the Warhawks. Chris has it now. Again, he's got that mainstay jersey number for that long tenure whenever he plays in these games. McComas now from Seeley. Get the play started, as this will be recollected toward the right side wing and a loop in behind the net. The Sharks will leave it. Zach Mulkowski got some work to do to get behind a couple of defenders as he gets pinned against the glass. And toward the left side, the Warhawks will read it. Excellent work there. And for Lambin, and this will be an icing.
Alright, here we go, ball.
9:29 left to go in this first. We are still scoreless. You can let me know at home whether or not you've expected that at this point in the game. But I haven't seen a lot of passes connect just yet. And Polosha, as soon as I say that, one goes in the back of the net. Polosha was kind of throwing a feeler out there, I believe, and toward the right wing, was he not? He was expecting his teammates to be there. No way Nate Austin could figure out what the heck was going to happen. And as soon as I mentioned about the lack of offense, you get one of the most unconventional, maybe even halfway pretty ones that you've seen throughout the year. So 9:24 gets us the first goal of the game. We'll look that across the game sheet because I don't know how many goal shout-outs we're going to be getting, and alongside the new addition for score announcing today, but we'll see how it goes. Polosha on his backhand. Oh, he scores! Coast to coast right after getting one, and it's Polosha having some fun now. We'll see how quickly that this actually updates live. But I don't know how automated that is as far as puck tracking. That might have to be inputted into the system before that's thrown in there. But Polosha has that goal. He also has an assist. And now Kieran Carlisle off the windmill. Sharks score a couple of quick ones. Polosha again. He was looking for a third straight point in not even 30 seconds. So that is how quickly the finger snap that Cooper Hopkins is so good at is making itself alive and well. I do want to give a shout out to him. We will bring that into the second period because I want to make sure that I get his announcement right for his coverage today. He is also working alongside with me, but he's all the way in the great state of California covering some women's college basketball. 8:55 left to go in this first. The Sharks already scored a pair. Brennan Sherwalk going to go ahead and take this draw. And again, that was right after I had to put foot insert mouth, essentially. But it's 2-0 for the Waterford Sharks. We flip back down the ice. That is 5 icings by my count at this point in the game. But I'll be honest with you, as I said in the open, if the Warhawks can keep this within 4 after this period and try to get a little bit of offense, a little bit of push ahead, they can still stay in this game, but they cannot let it get completely away from them. Now in toward the right side boards, Baldrika. We'll send this in deeper, as this will be bounced a couple of times, and I think it was out for Theo Goody, so everybody will send it back in and get ready to attack again, looking for an outlet pass, as this will be taken away. Isaiah Hyatt will push this one ahead, and this is intercepted across center ice. Theo gets the feed from Baldrika on his backhand. Beautiful move. Take the wrister. That one was a sizzler. If it hit the post, it might have been bar down and in. Back in behind the cage now, Nate Austin. Again, as I mentioned, I believe he's going to be the only goaltender of record today. Didn't see Michael Schwenke, the former Shark, as the backup. Again, the Sharks will carry Gillum as their backup. He got the win yesterday in the 5-4 victory over the Shadow on the back-to-back that makeup game. We will get a center ice draw at 7:53. Joel Skolin, who had spent some time with the Shadow, come over now with the Sharks. Chris Seeley get through the contact, but immediately then cough it up to Jake Fry. One more touch pass. Gets started again before it's intercepted here for Skolin, and now Seeley try to find his way. Little brush in toward the left side boards. Hunter Keppel will give a look, and the Warhawks turn it over in their own zone. Tyler Groff will send this one deep. Again, he's got the head coaching duties. He goes for a hit and misses it. And now the Warhawks might have a chance in off the rush. But Ian Morton does not give up a rebound. That could have been bad news the other way to make it a 2-1 game. Josh Hill, partial break, lost the puck. As this will be sent the other way now for the Warhawks. Here comes the clapper right into the trapper of Morton. He'll hold. Again, number 19 in my roster sheet was formerly Jeremy Short, so did not see him on the list today as far as those numbers, so I don't think everyone has been listed today. And hopefully the heat underneath us or something else is not leaking, because I felt some water drip across my neck and I got a headset on and connected to everything else. Don't need to turn into Storm as far as part of the X-Men. As this will be settled back for Theo Goody off the leave. McComas, wrister, and now Zach Mulkowski. Looking toward his defense that's pinched in now. Sharks on the prowl. Cole Haugemau in toward the left side wing. This goes in between the legs. Opportunity now off the rush. Will hit the bar. Austin Hickner was going for goal. And now the Sharks, it's a 3-on-1. You got McComas on the left wing. Sauce to him. One more touch. What a save, Nate Austin. 6:10 left to go in the first. You can definitely mark that one down. He's got it off the second rebound. I think that is a courtesy woo either from the Sharks, but definitely from the Warhawks. They should be thanking their goaltender, Nate Austin, for that one. A 3-on-1 and the Sharks don't convert. If it was a different storyline as far as the season and teams, maybe they would do something different, but still think it was a good play nonetheless from McComas, looking for a tip. Now this will be settled back down. In toward the right side and then intercepted. McComas tried to throw a pass out in front. And a lot of those breakouts, again, that's what the Warhawks talked about that about 7-8 minutes ago. Game time, really starting to find that now, down a couple of goals. And get an extra cross to the line from red to blue, try to get a breakout, and we're seeing it. It is the 6th icing of the period. There's still 5:53 in the opener. And make that 7 unless the refs say no. Okay. 5:44. This is almost the reverse of the game yesterday in between the Shadow and the Sharks, when the Sharks had to do that intentionally just to kind of kill time. Warhawks just looking for those breakout passes. If you can't connect anything in your own zone or turn it over first, that's when you're really in trouble. Got to win a D-zone draw here. Kieran Carlisle does that off the tie-up. And this will be in the Warhawks' end, looking for a flip. We'll get this one out the zone for Lochner. Got Hickner with him. Paul on his backhand. Try to leave this one back for Austin as it gets tied up. Polosha, beautiful blade as he knocks it away. Last man back for the Warhawks. Try to make this pass. It is onside. Lochner can walk in. Oh, he missed the net. Man, oh man. Again, the Warhawks, regardless of their record, they have some offensive opportunities every time they play against the Waterford Sharks, and it's not bad. You get a little more conversion there and some timely stops and get the puck out of the zone, you could be just fine, and their record wouldn't look like 0-7. Rush the other way now for Polosha. 2 points in this period. Number 61, power move. Back and behind the net off the leave. One more touch, and that one goes just wide. Baldrika was trying to hum it into an open net. 4:35 left, tipped out front. Sharks have it now. Nolan gets the recollect. Baldrika on his forehand, sent low toward Austin. He'll hold it at 4:29 of the opening frame.
Attention fans, the concession stand will be closing at the end of the first period. Again, the concession stand will be closing at the end of the first period.
Never actually got that shutout before on the Score Chiron part of the concession stand closing at the end of the first period. So you want those cookies that look pretty good to me. You got to get that before this period's over. As this will be sent back down here for Seeley. Crisscross. Combination in off the board. Seeley can't quite get there. Now he can hunt for the vulcanized rubber. Alex Sharp, see him now with the puck here. As we've hit the 4-minute mark, Sharp, OU product, finding his way from defense into the offensive zone, cross-ice feed. This is a bouncing puck, collected across the left wing. One more touch, Groth, signature clapper, and Austin got a piece of that. It's so good to see number 29 back on the ice and play. I said the same thing with Gibbs yesterday. He's got to stay away from those big hits. Don't want Tyler to get any more of those concussions, as this one is low. But man, he loves to shoot those slap shots. When I got a chance to interview him last year alongside the hotel, we made that trip to Muskegon alongside Justin McComas, Tyler Groth. Everybody loves it when he lets the clappers go. Groth, his pass deflected. He might be able to get to it first, finish his hit. And this will get sent back down. A couple Sharks almost run into each other. Is Ian Morton. Look for the outstretch here for Bowman. That's a beautiful flip pass here for Hill. And offsides they say, but Spencer Bowman, that is A+ for effort, good sir, on that one. Just hit the 7 o'clock marker, p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm so glad you can be with us for the final game in the homestand for the Waterford Sharks. They're up 2-0. Again, this looks very similar to that first period against the Michigan Shadow when they led 2-0 after one. Nate Austin pushes in the corner off the big blade, but Joel Skolin will end up getting the steal. As this one's sent back in behind the end boards, Jake Prober. Cross-ice feed. There'll be a spin and turn now for Hill. What a move. In toward the left side. That shot is blistered wide as it hits the end boards. Jake on his back skate. In toward the left side of the glass. Hill will try to push this one deep. Cross-ice feed, one more deflected in the middle of the slot. Warhawks just can't get it out of their own zone of yet. Hill try to dipsy-doodle around in the middle of the slot. Good stick in the lane for Prober. And now will actually get his own retrieval. Excellent work for number 20. Prober pass. Now for Hill. And across the left wing is protecting the puck on his backhand. And this will roll slowly and across the Sharks' defensive end. Good outstretched touch. Now for Skolin. Now Hill one more time. Good blocker save there for Nate Austin. He's been pretty busy in this first combination. Keppel, that one bounces toward the blue paint. Another good save for Austin. Said that a lot in this first one. He really needed to. As Buchanan find the entry. Toward the right wing now, as he will let a shot go in from the severe corner. Cross-ice feed, that one misses everything, but that was a good chance to shoot, just missed it all. Picked up now for Theo Goody. And on his backhand. Protects the puck, actually gets around a couple of Warhawks. Some gross moves now for Theo. Tried to go between his legs there. 1:15 and across the blue, and one more time, that is the 7th. And I try not to get the ice counter all the way across, but it's been a lot in this period. 2-0, the Sharks still lead. Zach Mulkowski going to take this draw. O-Zone 1 against the Warhawks. Try to win this one straight back. Good pinch now. Groth. Ooh, what a shot there, but this goes off the left pad. I think he's going to get one today. I have to put that on the scores. Whether or not it's an apple or goal, but I'm going to call a G for Tyler today. Mulkowski. He was trying to get around a phone booth. Groth will send it deep. And be recollected now for the Warhawks. Can they get something in this final 45? Good offhand shove. Groth will finish his hit. This is loose out in front of the slot, but it's picked up. McComas try to make a move, and the Warhawks will steal. And from a severe angle, recollect for Cole Halgamo, always responsible across 200 feet and not afraid to punch you in the face as well. As this toward the right side dot, but it goes wide. Cole Halgamo now trying to hunt for the puck. As this intentionally gets sent back off a couple of blades. Sharks will find it in between the benches. And this hits one of the Warhawks who was trying to make a change. Now in the NHL, you could actually get a penalty for that. I don't think that they're going to have to be as mean here in the MIHL, but if you do touch the puck in terms of making a change, you can get too many men on the ice. And I believe that's what they have signaled. So we're going to keep that the same way all the way across. So glad I mentioned that because that is what we got. That's an invert and one of the most unlucky penalties you can get if you're the Warhawks. But 15.8 if not carryover power play time for the Sharks. Although in that last time that they played against the Warhawks when they won 11-8, they did score in 5 seconds off a face-off win, but not this time. This will be flipped toward Polosha, and that will kill the first period. The Sharks will have about $1:44 left of power play time, and they lead by the same score as they did yesterday against the Shadow after 1. They lead the Warhawks now 2-0 after the first set of 20. They come back, we'll call more. This is the end of the 5-game homestand. Sharks trying to go perfect 5-0-0. We'll see you in a bit.
Go Live Sportscast. Go Live Sportscast. Go Live Sportscast. Go Live Sportscast. Live Sportscast. Go 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 Live Sportscast. Live Sportscast. Go Live Sportscast. Go Live Sportscast. Go Live Sportscast.
Austin. Warhawks are doing what they're supposed to do, keeping themselves in this game. They're still only down 2-0, but they need to generate more offensive opportunities. It's just whether or not the Sharks are actually going to give those to them. Lochner has been the best Warhawk today. I've called his name several times. That one was cued to the glove hand, but Morton's got it a hold at 17:05. Get some full sail changes here for Detroit. Again, they are in the road white jerseys with the black pants and the yellow and blue stripe, a little bit of black as well. I like the top part of their font. Again, they end up getting names on there. If they weren't just laundry listing their players, but have their regulars have names on it, that would look pretty cool too with the captaincies and everything mixed in. Hunter Keppel toward the left wing, looking for his drop pass. He'll get it back, and Nate Austin will leapfrog on the puck. Almost 4 minutes have expired, if I can do my math correctly, in this second period. Toward the left side, hits Nate Austin up high. Another rebound here. This is funneled in toward the slot. Warhawks will get it out. That's right where Christopher Martin is, however. And Josh Hill up the ice. He just missed the top left of the post. Goes back to Christopher here. Off the crisscross. Bounces off a couple of blades. Hunt the puck here is Hunter Keppel. That is part of his name, after all, as this is sent back in behind. Good feed there for Austin. And a hold. Sorry for the cheesy dad jokes a little bit. I am getting old as well. So, again, I'm going to be trying to celebrate, if I can make it, God willing, a 39th birthday as far as March 22nd in the final game of the regular season for the Waterford Sharks against the Shadow. Even if I'm only in attendance for that, I want to see how the season ends because I don't think I'm going to be able to get enough of that matchup in the MIHL South. Milkowski's draw will go back to Cole Helgamo. Picked up on the backhand now. Austin makes the save, cancels it off with the right pad. He has made about 10 of those already, not even inside 4 minutes. Sent toward the net, another deflection attempt in the stick of McComas, but Austin's got that too. Jake is getting some shout-outs from either the referees or the Sharks on the bench, but they are really catcalling Jake's name now, and that just makes me laugh as this is sent back in behind the inboards. I always love the chemistry that this Waterford team has. And again, I don't say it lightly in terms of just working with them, but I think that is the best in the business across the board. This is the best culture in terms of the MIHL, and it's not close. Flip back in now for Justin McComas. And intercepted now for the Warhawks. Try to take this one right to left in this period. Good hunt there for Tyler Groth, but this will be picked up now for Hickner. Have to chase this one for Cole Helgamo. Off the outstretch, he fights through the contact beautifully and then picks it back up himself. My goodness, Groth combination pass. Got Helgamo now. Be something if he scores here. This one hit toward the left side of the stick shaft. Now one toward the right side boards. Looking for a breakout, and it is a breakaway. Hickner, edge of his shift, good save for Ian Morton, and he will just kiss that one off the glass and out. Beautifully done there. Hickner didn't have a lot of gasoline left in the tank there on the edge of the shift. Almost hit Lochner in the face there with that clearing attempt as this will get sent back down. Sharks try to take this one right to left in this second stanza again. They got their alternates here. Milkowski, what a move as this one bounces in front. Rebound opportunity hits the netting. That'll blow play dead. I wouldn't say that the score sheet that I'm looking at, again, I always have the rosters printed and adjust them across Hopo Sports Guy and from week to week, so never really any concern for that. I'm going to make my own, but score sheet's feeling a little lonely here as it still sits only at 2-0. Don't know how much longer that is going to last, but for the Warhawks. Again, we talk about them playing the Sharks close in all the games that they've played in the South, and like what you've seen so far in keeping it close, and Nate Austin has been brilliant on the net. Polsha will throw this one in the corner. Settle this down again. Jacob Baxter was the number 33 number. Again, didn't have that listed as well, but that's what I got today. As this will be picked up now for the Warhawks. Take this one from right to left. And off the long flip, settle back down to Morton. He's going to have to hold. He got a couple of Warhawks in his face nonetheless. You know, Devon Fields had spent some time when the Rockers were playing. He was initially signed there by the Shadow. I don't think he's suited up yet for the Warhawks, but I would love to see him back on the ice because that immediately makes the defense better. Kind of wonder where he's playing now at this point. He was always so prominent in the MIHL. This will be recollected now. Hickner try to get chase in between Theo Goody, and this is a wonderful save for Ian Morton at 13:33, and we get a whistle. I'm not sure what it was for. Sharks are trying to dictate maybe where the face-off is going to go. That's all I'm seeing here. And for the Hawks, I wish I could read lips. We're just going to dictate it the other way, but Morton, that was his best stop. He's got a couple really good ones in this period to match Nate Austin. That's why he's still got a 2-0 lead, and his team is thankful for it. Chance will just hit the left side of the glass. Austin looked behind him, but this is toward the right of the paint. Warhawks, if they rush, they could have some numbers here. Will chip in deep and looking for Lochner, but Morton makes a smart play. He'll hold. That was a smart play, honestly, for Morton to do so because the Warhawks had numbers. You probably play that, ignites a forecheck, and maybe Detroit gets a goal there. So you want to kind of slow things down a little bit when you can, especially when you got the lead. Sherwalk will take a D-zone draw for Waterford. Win this one straight back. Almost collided with the stick there of Ian. Here's Tyler Groth. Up the gut. Now the right wing. He lost the puck off the spin. It's centered out in front. Skull and couldn't get a blade on it. Warhawks toward the right side red line and content to carry it in. What a move on the backhand. And Morton says no. Cancels that one off. That was a beautiful play there for Detroit. Still hunting for a goal. Just getting away from the blade. And a couple of dances there for Brendan Sherwalk, walking that fire tightrope. This bounced off the blade of Morton, but the icing was already signified where he touched the puck. I have to be honest here, ladies and gentlemen. I said it before in the 11-8 win for the Sharks over the Warhawks that I thought Jake Tomalak's squad looked pretty good. Obviously, you don't want to give up that many goals, but when they're playing again here in a 2-0, and whether or not the Sharks dictate their best lineup from what I told you was or wasn't here today, they're still keeping it close. Nate Austin has been wonderful, and they're right there. They just need to get a bounce to go their way. Keppel try to feed this one for Josh Hill. And Hickner, not sure if he was offsides or not, but he really was looking to cheat for offense. Again, we point that out as many times as we can. Keppel now on the rush. Got Hill with him, but his backhand misses everything. Warhawks looking for another one of those passes there, but it's off the stick shaft of Paul Lochner. We're almost halfway through the second period. It's kind of breezed by, and that happens when you don't take as many icings. Flip back around now as this will be recollected for Jake Prober. Take this one cross ice, D to D. And bounced away from Goody. Again, Warhawks have a 3-on-1, but Morton does not elect to give up a rebound here. And we get another stoppage at 11:35. Always love to see those victory stick taps, and I think young daughter and alongside with a proud dad playing on the ice. Always good to be able to get that camera shot. Makes me feel good to call that during the play-by-play. There's nothing better. In toward the left side dot. Sharks will take this one around the horn. Cole Helgamo will start again in his own end. Pass recollected now for Theo Goody. Right up the gut. Gets around 3 Warhawks. Takes a wrister that's fought off by Nate Austin. Left side corner here for Justin McComas. A little bit of a stick handle now as he's kept to the outside. Molkowski, good feed and tight on the backhand now. Shovel, and that one for a one-timer. McComas just missed the top right of the post. Helgamo will lose this one back. I'm on the inboards for Baxter. We'll flip it back down the ice. Not elect for icing here as the time continues to bleed. We're almost halfway through regulation. It's still only 2-0. Theo Goody. He tried to cut across the middle. He's going to get it back now from the right wing to the left. Cross ice feed. Nate Austin was down in the moment for a butterfly. Sharks kept toward the outside. Here from Molkowski across the blue line. He'll stick handle with it. On his backhand, Molkowski still keeping the play alive. Throws it back to the point looking for a deflection. Warhawks try to clean it up. He had 3 players in front covering Nate Austin. Outstretch. Will be connected across 2 lines. Hickner gets the engines revved up again one more time. A little soft shove to the left side red line. And hunt for the puck there, but Cole Helgamo got McComas with him. They stay onside. Helgamo wrister. This one gets fanned on, partially deflected as well, as we're past the halfway marker officially now. Right side wing here for the Warhawks. Spin and turn. And against the glass, the Sharks will steal. Sharks do have some partial numbers here. Cole Helgamo got to be toward the edge of his shift now. On his backhand, lifts it in front of Austin, who got a glove on it and then leapfrogged down. That is probably the 3rd time I've mentioned his name to actually mark that down in the second period. He's been sparkling. Being ozone draw, Kieran Carlisle off the forehand turn, can't win it. As this is in the right side corner. Carlisle now. I'll try to get this one out. Chris Seeley had it for a moment. Sends it in from the point. Traffic at the net. As this goes behind the 9 cage 1T. And this one blocked with the right pad and stays out. And eluding of a hit there. Chris Seeley would try to give it. Good work to get out of the way for the Warhawks. Cross ice Kieran Carlisle. What a touch feed. He was looking for Polsha there. Gets the steal. Off the drop. A little bit too far for Baldrika. Got some numbers, but they couldn't get the pass out in front. Didn't see Lochner, who was in the midst of a break. Baldrika find the entry now. Give back to number 13. Cross one more feed. Bounce off the left pad of Nate Austin. He has had a workout, certainly. He got the full sweat on. Sent back down the ice. And this would be the time. Warhawks know they can't change. I think they're going to have to get some other personnel back on the ice. Maybe try to cheat at least to get a little bit of a breath. But this might be the time to call now where the Sharks score against a tired unit on the other end. Ozone draw right to Nate Austin. Unequivocally can start the play here for the Warhawks, and that pass was missed. Alex Sharp now hunts for the vulcanized rubber, and Sharks will get possession out of this. Left side dot up into the netting, and they'll get an ozone draw. So Warhawks could not get the puck out of their own zone. Alex Sharp got a steal for a moment, and that is going to get an ozone chance here for the Sharks. So you got D-Shop, you got Boomer on the backhand patch, and you have the San Jose Sharks, part of it for Waterford, in the mix of the Anaheim colors and a little bit of New Jersey, says Cooper Hopkins. But I like that alternate color scheme there. You got the Sharks patch on the top left side of the shoulder with, I believe, the namesakes of the captaincy or the A on the right side with the jersey number on the left. It's a really good look now that I finally got a second game to get my 4 eyes on. I really like that alternate for the Sharks. Now towards center ice. High just misses the glove of Ian Morton near the right post. 3-on-3 here for the left side. This is off the stick of Sharp and right to Austin. It's going to be interesting to see where the shots on goal are starting to head. They're starting to get a little slanted in favor of the Sharks. Looking for at least one more insurance to get past Nate Austin to start to feel good about where you are. Haven't seen as much attack from the Warhawks that we saw from that 11-8 game. This one was not played with a high stick, so we're still live here. Goody's slapper. This is the left side post. A little bit of a finish of a brace for Alex Sharp. Groth will stick it away. Here for Theo Goody. Got very reliable defensemen here, but this one is sticked away. Lochner's got it. This one off the post and out and then in. That was a rare mistake. Theo Goody got thefted, and the Warhawks take advantage. They were pretty close the other way from conceding, if not for Nate Austin, and the Warhawks get the first goal of the period. It's 2-1. Now, my only sense of concern will be how close the scoreline is by the end of the second period, and whether or not you flip that pilot light for the Waterford Sharks. I don't think they've played poorly, but again, Nate Austin had been about as good as he has. Otherwise, the Sharks, I would think, easily have a few more goals, but whether or not that also ignites the sense of urgency that the Warhawks have made it a one-goal game. Seeley in toward the traffic, deflected off of the stick of Nate Austin, and the Warhawks, if they go quickly enough, can get some numbers, but Seeley content to throw it back in. We're almost inside 6 minutes of the second period left to go here, and it's a 2-1 game. Knocked away from Hickner. And flip back now for Josh Hill. Picked off again, and this goes behind the net. Man, oh man, that could have been a 2-2 game. And that would have been a completely different storyline. There's some missed passes in between the first, probably 3 or 4 that turned some chances, and the Warhawks finally converted on one in the second. And off the glass. Hill, backhand leave, lost the puck. And this will be airmailed and not ice because this goes right to Morton. So about 170 feet full sail clear, thereabouts. And back behind the net. Sharks probably need the next goal here. I don't think I've ever said that against the Warhawks, but you just want to feel a little bit better to have one more of a cushion rather than one goal. Here's a good feed there for Chris Martin as this one's let go back toward the left side post. Sharks try to matriculate this in behind the net, but it's coughed up. Now the Warhawks from right to left. Good reverse hit, as Lambin was able to get it for a moment. And off the outstretch, Mulkowski in the blue line. This one will be gloved down alongside Isaiah Hyatt. Warhawks on a one-on-one. See what they can do here for an outstretched blade, but good work there from Mulkowski. But again, it's picked up right in the middle of the slot cross ice feed, and the Warhawks score. Can you believe it? This game is tied. Sloppy play in the own end for the Waterford Sharks in this second period. We are tied at dose, and I'm just going to say this honestly here from where the score line is. You feel good for the Warhawks. They deserve what they got right now, but if the Sharks get that win against the Shadow and they lose one to the Warhawks, that essentially then kind of sets things up again if the Voyagers beat the Shadow in from yesterday. But now there's a whole heck of a lot to think about here with 5:14 left. So it is a 2-2 game and a couple of miscues in the Sharks' own end. That time Mulkowski couldn't get it clear, ended up into the back of the net. And Nate Austin is the reason why this game has been able to stay close. Now toward the back post. Sharks pick it up, Rister. That one misses everything. Kieran Carlisle now. You think the urgency light is definitely on now at this point. Here's Polosha. Little Dominic Hasek there for Nate Austin. What a stop. Kieran Carlisle off his blade. He looks for a snipe and gets denied. Baldrika Ripper. That one stopped by Austin. Voice register's going high here. Another clapper. And that one stopped as well. Fight at the net. Nate Austin take a bow. He is a brick wall at this point. But the Sharks are in a battle now. If the Warhawks do find a way to get one more and take the lead, this would be the exact same script that the Shadow used when they scored 4 in that second. Again, the Sharks were able to fight back, take the lead a couple times, and win 5-4. I'm not saying we're at a 5-4 destination quite yet with 4:26 in the second, but this is color me shocked in terms of how close it has been. Not between the 11-8, but only 2-2. Sent toward the net now. Nate Austin able to cancel it out. He has had a phenomenal second period. Theo Goody sent back in behind the inboards. Bounces off the stick of Jake Prober. Sharks 3-on-2. Baldrika is on the opposite wing. This is sent out toward him. Slows it down. Collects on the forehand. Baldrika. Now to Kieran Carlisle. Kieran work his way toward the middle of the slot now, back to the left side blue line. His shot bounces off some bodies. And flip back toward the right side wing. High slot now, shot go deflected. And this goes in the left side corner. Baldrika now trying to desperation to pick it up. Captain at the line. Beautiful play for the Sharks. Theo Goody. Extra pass. That one misses it all. Sharks get the possession here with Chris Seeley. Working in behind the cage now. It's very busy here for the Warhawks. One of the Sharks goes down. Seeley trying to get this one out in front for Polosha. Shot it up high. There was a big rebound. Carlisle tries to find it. Back pass in tight. The Sharks score! They're taking the lead. 3:10 left to go. A little stick-to-itiveness. And between Seeley, Carlisle, and Polosha. And this one gets finished off 3:10. Sharks take a 3-2 lead. You got to give full marks, and I said in the 11-8 win for the Sharks over the Warhawks to Detroit, the way that they've played the Sharks this year, regardless of whatever personnel has been on the ice, they have given the best effort. Again, the Shadow had gotten this close to a 5-4. I think this really has been the best team, as this is centered around in terms of the way that they played against Waterford, as this will be recollected now. And off the outstretch, chance for an odd-man rush, and Morton will just kiss it in the corner. Sharks get the lead back here, as this will be knocked away a couple of times. Brendan Sherwalk tried to find it. Spencer Bowman off the outstretched Sherwalk. Just gets a blade to be able to stay onside across the left wing. Sherwalk patient. Throws it back to Tyler Groff. Lets her wrister go this time, partially deflected. The Sharks will hunt for it in front of the slot. Now across the right wing. Here's Alex Sharp on his backhand, but this is going to vacate the zone. Didn't have any defense back there. Pass too far for Seeley, who just checked back in after getting a plus on the play. Sharks again having some trouble in their own end, which is not something we normally say, as this is a reach out for a spinning vulcanized rubber. Now an opportunity. Seeley kind of ran into his man as he settled back down for Joel Scullin. Now Milkowski, this will bounce up and out of play into the Warhawks bench, so no penalty. $1:54 left to go in the second. Whether or not the Sharks heard me yesterday saying the comfortability and feeling good of a close game, being able to call that for once to have 2 straight against a team like the Warhawks here after that, after the 11-8 win from before in week 2, kind of makes you think. But again, I have to only call what I see, and I have to give the Warhawks full marks. This is a team that they love to play against in the Sharks. Now on the backhand, Scullin try to get this out of his own zone. He'll do just that. 3-on-2 developing here for Waterford. Passing toward the back door. That one will get deflected as we are getting close here to 90 seconds left to go in this middle stanza. net has come partially off its moorings, and it looks like we're going to stay in the O-zone end for Waterford. Skolin now off the tie-up. This is one for Mulkowski, and a pass in front of him, a little slot gets taken away. Numbers there for a moment, but Mulkowski gains the center ice red line and throws it in, free to do so. Flip back down now, cross ice for Christopher Martin. Keppel take his wrister. This one will bounce toward the left side dot, rolling puck recollected across center ice. And Jake Prober. Prober will go ahead and find it as this one gets flipped back down. Mulkowski was there as this was played by Nate Austin back in from behind the net. And this rolls down the ice. Ian Morton knows he's got Lochner in his grill. He'll flip this back around slowly for Jake Prober. Prober's pass just far enough to get it to Kieran Carlisle. You don't want to see any more of those misplays. Had a couple of those in the second that ended up costing the Sharks a couple of goals. And this time off to contend with an icing. About 35 seconds left. Be an all-important O-zone draw, as this will get knocked away from the Warhawks. Now in toward the left side dot, picked up off the drop pass. Sharks centering, got in front for Carlisle, and that's banged home. What a play right near the end of the period, and the Sharks lead is restored back to 2. So we're still exactly where we were after 1 as we get set to end 2. The 2-goal lead is restored for Waterford. That was just working behind the net, a pass that was sauced in the middle of the slot and then put home. And off the long flip, spinning right out of the air. That would have been a great camera shot, one of those Kodaks. As this will be flipped back in now, Lochner try to give this off the hunt. He's got Hickner with him as we go down to 5, and if you're the Sharks, you can breathe a little bit easier now as the score line and deficit for the Warhawks still remains as it was. It was 2-0 after 1, 4-2 after 2, but it's been a good competitive hockey game between these two. The Sharks still in line for a perfect 5-0-0 homestand. We will see if we need anything after this third period coming up. Stick around, we've got a good one on our hands. We'll see how it finishes it off. Be back in a bit.
Go Live Sportscast. 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 Live Sportscast.
So as I see the players start to come out on the ice, let me give you a scoring update across the MIHL, if I could here very quickly. So for the Shadow and the Voyagers that are underway at Lakeshore Sports Center, it looks like the Michigan Shadow have a 2-0 lead on Muskegon. Let me see if I can find anything as far as the game sheet apart what's put ahead. If not, we'll just give you the score line. But it looks like that's all we got right now is just the score line. That everything else for the Sharks that's been automated are the only ones that have that up to date. So as far as the players who have scored, so 2-0, the Shadow lead over the Voyagers. Again, that would kind of help the Waterford Sharks as far as if the Shadow take that victory over Muskegon, then that would also mean that there'll be another team that has 3 losses when the Sharks only have 1. So that is something to think about as well. And color me shocked here. I know it is early, but I'm looking at this score line as well. In the side of the North, the Alpena 45ers after 1 are up 3-2 on the Sheboygan Wendigo. The Sheboygan Wendigo scored 2 goals in 1 game. So that is not something that we normally talk about as well. Kings and Saints do not have an update yet. But again, as I mentioned, Shadow lead 2-0 over the Voyagers, and the 45ers have a 3-2 lead over the Indigo after 1. So what does that dictate? John here with you at Lakeland Arena here between the Waterford Sharks and the Warhawks. What's our score after 2? Well, glad you asked. It is 4-2. The Sharks were able to bounce back a little bit after a couple of not so great turnovers. I don't want to single out Jake Prober or Theo Goody, but a couple of those plays ended up not being so good. Sometimes you turn over and you pay the price. That's what happened. Ian Morton had to surrender too. Combination, I thought it was pretty good for Paul Lochner and Austin Hickner. They look pretty good off odd man rushes. Again, Jake Tomlak's squad really trying to go for that, as you mentioned, over the last couple of meetings when the Sharks took the first one here, 11-8 against Detroit. We both get a goal and an assist. Nate Austin, I thought, has been very strong for the Warhawks. He's made 28 saves so far. Shots on goal in totality, 32-16. Waterford, 18-11 in that period. Waterford retakes the lead as Polosha and Carlisle both pot their second of the game, respectively. So as it sits, let me make sure that I update the spelling here before I post this on the Instagram at the end of it. But the players are now getting set on the ice. And let me give you one more update as well. So we went across the MIHL scoreboard. We got that all squared away. I do want to get into my messages and give Cooper Hopkins his shout out, as I said that I would, in toward the part of this third period. So his assignment on ESPN Plus is a women's college basketball game between Cal State Northridge and UC Irvine. That was tipping about 5 Eastern. So again, I'll have to catch the replay for him as we're both working on the same night, hoping that we can reconnect on the X Space at John Ryan out per usual. I'll give you my updates toward the end of it about the 8:30 side on Wednesday as the Red Wings get set to take on the Flames when our two favorite teams battle against each other. So we'll have plenty to do this week. I'll also be covering the Red Wings and the Oilers as we'll move back to the parents' house for the week, at least for a few days, and cover a couple Red Wings games that I can't get over where I'm at right now because you don't want to pay the extra, $300, $400 and then next to just be able to try to get FanDuel Sports. So that's probably going to be on the horizon. We've gone across MIHL update, Sharks update, and that shout out as well. And as I said, when we get toward the end, John Ryan on, I'll let you know what I'm working on before the Sharks go on their 5-game road stand and have that break. Any other NHL scores might stand out here very quickly before we get underneath our puck drop. Flames still up 1-0 on the Mammoth. That's the start of the second period. Bruins up 2-1 on the Devils. It has implications in the Atlantic for Detroit. Canadians, Maple Leafs scoreless. So are the Blue Sens and the Islanders and Lightning. We'll get you more toward the end if I can. So we're underway here. About 15 seconds have expired. And we change ends on the ice as the Warhawks look to go right to left. Polosha, he's on a hat-trick watch. With a backhand move like that, he might get one. As this will be recollected now. Baldrika, good pass. Polosha combination. He's already looking to try to get this over with. Kieran Carlisle off the touch. It'll Kieran Carlisle and Polosha both have 2. And then you have Lochner and, as I mentioned, Austin Hickner have 1 goal and assist for them. And on the forehand is Jake Probert off the leave. Long shot gets tipped. That was a little courtesy look for Nate Austin, but no problems there as he goes ahead and makes the save. In toward the right side corner. Warhawks have a look for a wrister there for Lochner, and it's in the glove of Ian Morton. So a lot of housekeeping to do with all those updates, and they try to make sure the rosters and the phone and everything else is all in a viable spot. I always appreciate everyone around here always give me that courtesy space in between that camera, because we're always kind of hunched in like some sardines. But rather than the spot that I'd like to be in the red rink, I'm glad they're playing the games here because you get that good bird's eye view of everything. Right in at the ice level. Good move here for Ballman. Walks in. This is stopped for Nate Austin. And at the point, Theo Goody. About 90 seconds have expired in this third period. Sharks have retaken a 2-goal lead. It was 2-0 Sharks after 1. Now sits 4-2. Warhawks did tie this at one point. As this goes in toward the right side of the glass. Picked up now for Baldrika. Or Sherwalk, off the spin and turn as this one is knocked away. And a good hit. Alex Sharp cleans up his man. As this goes back to the point now for Theo Goody. He's got a 1-on-3. Doesn't matter. Walk-in wrister. This one's off the glove hand of Nate Austin. He's about 30 saves now in this game. Collected it off the point for Skolin, but he fumbled it. He's going to go back, and the Sharks will recollect and get back on side. Here for Theo Goody off the sweep. Sharks on defense with Christopher Martin. Send this one back down. In toward the left side red line. Bounces off the stick of Skolin, and now the Warhawks like to break out with a little bit of speed here. Sharks do have an extra player back. As this is punched into the corner. Go D-to-D now for Waterford toward the right side of the glass. Good draw weight there to watch that puck bounce, and now the Sharks can get this in their own end. Skolin look for a breakout pass from end to end, and Sharks get started now. Cole Hogemo fake the slapper across the right wing as he circles, looking for a lead for Hunter Keppel in front of the crease. Go D-to-D. Groth feign on that clapper, but the Sharks are going to get the puck back. Go cross ice now for Chris Seeley looking for the deflection, and Nate Austin will get the whistle here at 16:53. Skolin going to get set to take an ozone draw. Winson off the forehand turn as Hunter Keppel's chance goes off the glove of Nate Austin. That's going to work out for a break. What's Ian Morton going to be able to do? Penalty hand in the air. And are we going to get a penalty shot? Are we going to signify at center ice is the question. A hook is the call. So the Warhawks going to get a power play. That will be their first of the game. There has not been a lot of that in this game whatsoever. Been a lot of even strength. So Sharks get a hooking call. Again, the first penalty that they're going to have to kill in this game. Sharks only had one power play themselves. Be a chance now toward the left dot. Warhawks can score this. They scored on the power play before, and that last time the 11-8 loss when it was a week 2 meetup. Pick up now for Lochner. So that top unit's out there now. Lochner's already got a goal and assist this game alongside with Austin Hickner. As mentioned, it was a 2-2 tie after being down 2-0 for the Warhawks. But only 6 goals have been scored as Polsha have it in his own end. Sharks are dangerous enough with this team that they have on the ice even still to score shorthanded. But this could be the second straight time where they don't get the double digits. Carlisle off the lead for Polsha. They're doing some shorthanded work. Now they're dancing with the puck. Polsha, nice curl and drag sent toward the net. Austin able to cancel it off with the stick. And now the Warhawks quickly try to press this ahead, but Theo Goody reads the pass. And toward the right side, bounce to Kieran, off the boards. Lee for Theo. Here's a wrister, good save off the full stretch for Nate. Paul, recollect now on his own end. 15:30 left to go here in this third. John here with you alongside the Go Live Sportscast and Red Rink at Lakeland Arena. This game has been nip and tuck. Warhawks have played well against the Sharks in the couple of games that we've seen here. Buchanan off the cross-ice feed, saved by Austin and cleared in the corner. Job's not done though, as this is played in off a knee. Back to Buchanan at the point. We're sit up high. Bounce up into the air. Sharks try to hit it off the glass, but it hits an errant stick of the Warhawks and stays in play. Good sauce out of the air, but a rolling recollect. This could lead to a break. It's Zachary Milkowski. He's going to have to stay with this thing. Mr. Good save in and out of the glove hand of Nate Austin. Settle back down now as the Sharks couple of short-handed chances there with Carlisle Polusha and then Zach Milkowski on the latest, so that was a success. Now we'll see what happens here on full strength. Here's a turn and spin. Off the lead, one more touch pass, shot at the point, fought off by Morton, and then sent back down. Sharks probably iced it against themselves, but they're just trying to clear the danger nonetheless. There's no doubt the most prominent players that we've seen on the ice. We'll recall the numbers and names of 4 and 10 and Lochner and Hickner. Tommy Morgan, especially last season when I seen him here with the Warhawks, was always very prominent as far as leading that offense. But I think he's just trying to dictate and keep his troops in order, keep the game close and play more defense, because that's what you need to do. You can't let the Sharks break out. He's doing a good job of that. Stick gets taken out of the hands of Alex Sharp. This will go just wide, so retrieve the lumber here is Alex back in behind the net, and this will be played in between the legs and get it out. Now for Lochner, in off the rush, he gets destroyed, upended, and we should be getting another call. Hopefully he's okay. He did a little half gainer off the spin. So back-to-back power play opportunities here for the Warhawks. It is their second of the period, second of the game. Sharks, again, as mentioned earlier, have just one, but that had to be called. And the speed for number 4 was too much to bear. We saw that a lot from Cody Oakes yesterday for the Sharks. He was excellent on defense. And in that game against the Shadow. As this is tipped out of the air and in, a deflection, and a gorgeous one at that. And a couple power plays that cash in on half, and it's a 1-goal game again. And it's not just me having maybe a little bit of a soft spot for a team that's 0-7. And I know it primarily dictates away from the team that I'm working for, but the way that they play the game, I just can't understand every time they play against the Sharks, and you can only see what your eyes tell you. And I dictate that across everything that's broadcasted and Go Live, but doesn't this team look better than their record indicates? They have a chance to make something happen here with 13:49 left in the third. I mean, they've already done that if you look at the score chyron. Be sent in off the backhand now and get a chance to look to start again. Picked up now for Chris Seeley. It's a 1-goal game, just as it was last night. Another turnover, but the Warhawks are off. They got to step back up. I don't think they even got onside. There was still a player off, and now rush the other way. Groth with a bomb. And this one goes back behind. He gets his own retrieval. Groth work his way with speed with a vengeance now. Seeley fans on him. Might work out in front, though, that the Sharks can pick it up. And some contact. Hunter Keppel knocks down his man, and they can't get it out of the zone. Hunter Keppel now for Seeley. Has to spin and turn to locate the biscuit. Now toward the middle of the slot for Micah. Excuse me, that was Skolin. As this is picked away from Micah, played with the Shadow yesterday. I'm still not used to seeing that number. They're used to also wear that number. as this will be picked back up. Buchanan gets it taken away from him. Now Cole Helgamo, the other numero dos. Helgamo scored late when the Sharks needed it in yesterday's game, and his wrist shot hits Nate Austin up high, but he will catch it in the trapper. This is a nail biter here. Again, we're not quite at that time, but I'm going to use the term about 6 minutes from now, if the score line's still where it is, Sharks might be in danger of a perfect homestand. One between the legs. And this is set up beautifully here. Prober got a lane, shoots it low, looking for the rebound. Good stick chop. Sharks get the steal, and this one goes across center ice. Polosha. He's got some work to do. He's got to get around that phone booth there. Lochner, as this one gets knocked down deep, as it's punched in the corner. Sharks looking for a breakout for Polosha. Not a bad idea there. Just couldn't get a lot on that pass of the turnaround. Got a chance off the rush now. Warhawks do a lap in behind the net. Into the right side. A little bit of a wipeout unintentionally. And Baldrika's pass. Here for Polosha. Off the windmill. Gets it back now. As he goes to the right side, dot stolen, walk in, Polosha patient, sends it toward the back post, and we get a whistle at 11:49. "4-3 is our score line. 5-4 was the final yesterday for the Sharks over the Shadow. 4-3 is the current lead for the Sharks now over the Warhawks. Cherwalk, an all-important offensive zone draw, wins it straight back, tried to find Sharp. It was bounced up in the air, but he hunts the puck. This is sent in. Theo Goody is pinched toward the left side blue line. Sharks will get the steal. Sharp quickly throws it across to Tyler. We'll just pinball it in. We're almost at the halfway marker of regulation. We're still within a one-goal game. It has been back-to-back. I can't say scintillating in terms of the turnovers, but there's been more of that yesterday that was clean. But this is a game that's close again, and it's for the taking. Warhawks have played well. Now toward the forehand. Groth on the rush. He surveys now toward the left wing. Cross ice feed. One more touch out in front for Cherwalk, but that one's blocked. And off the backhand, it's out in front of Nate Austin. Sent back down the ice. No problem off the hybrid there. Goody's going to get there first. So the door is open here, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, into the intermission going into the third with the Shadow with a 2-0 lead over the Voyagers. If they can give the Voyagers a third loss and the Sharks win here in regulation, that gives themselves a cushion. They don't know that probably across the score line, but you cannot give away these 2 points. Tyler Groth. Oh, what a half spin. He lost the puck, but he's going to be able to keep it enough to get some offensive zone time. Here for McComas. Hill walks in, shoots, missed it all. But Hill's going to pick up his own rebound. And on the right side, send off the tip for Mokowski, and this will be gloved down by Nate Austin. But Nate Austin's doing his best impression of Jack Hudak, as he mentioned before. We saw a little bit for Bryn Sommerfeld with the Shadow yesterday. They'll try to lock down as much as he can. He's really done that. Sharks probably could have at least 2 or 3 more if not for his efforts. Josh Hill will take this face-off draw. There's been a lot of forehand turns for these rather than the backhand clean wins. Be sent back down for Cherwalk. We've got past the halfway point of the third. It's still a 1-goal game. Another big 2 points are on the line. I knew I was going to say that a lot yesterday, but I didn't imagine it now. But it is where it is right now, and the Sharks are in a game. They got to win it. bowling pins toward the left side of the ice. Another breakout pass opportunity, and McComas able to win the puck there for a moment as this is sent down deep for the Warhawks. Got to be careful here in about another 4 minutes, as the Warhawks have already been sending a lot of 2-on-1s and try to cheat for offense, so you really don't want to get caught in a break flat-footed. A feed for McComas, and Hill was too far, and now over skate of the puck. This is going to be a last man back here for Waterford, and the chance for Morton hits the glass. Warhawks can pinch this one in deep. They're close to tying this game, as it's Hill throw this one into his own end. Trying to locate the puck now as this is in across center ice. Seeley settle it down. Sharks will go ahead and get a chance to pick up now for Hunter Keppel. Turns on the burners, fresh off a change. And his chance again, gloved down by Austin. He's not giving up many rebounds, and everything that he's got, he looks pretty sure of right now. That's why this game's so tight. This might be the best goaltending effort that I've seen all year. And that is not being hyperbolic one bit. Skolin loses it, and this will go back from left to right for the Warhawks. Flip this all the way down, and the Sharks will actually get to start this again in the O-zone. Joel's going to get one more opportunity at this as it's punched in toward the right side of the boards. And they got to get away from the Zebra as well as a couple other players here as the Sharks get possession. Cole Helgamo try to turn this around on his forehand. He'll make the pass across and behind the net, and they'll look toward the left wing. Skolin finishes a couple of hits, and this will be flipped back down. Warhawks still have not been able to change their personnel. I know I mentioned this one time in the second period, but you'd have to think when the gasoline gets started to get short in that tank, you got to take advantage of it. And then after I said that in the second period, the Warhawks were the team that actually scored off a 2-on-1. Haven't seen Cole Helgamo take a lot of draws. He tried to win this one between his legs. Back in behind the net now, looking for a lift, and this will be sticked away. Sharks being very careful here with Theo Goody as the last man back. And I like that, though. I mean, you got to play in the game that you're in right now and treat it as it is. If it's close enough and you probably expect it to be more, you can't give anything more away like you did in the second. Helgamo now, off the touch. Good stop for Austin with the right pad. As Warhawks again, there's just a lot of pressure out in front with the one forward and deep. Here is Lochner looking for the stick of Austin Hickner, and that one's taken away. Sharks, Cole Helgamo, across the left wing at the net, and this one's fought off by Austin again. Time is continuing to be knocked down, but it's not dangerous enough yet for either team to say it's over. Tyler Groth will get there first. And Skolin with a little bit of a push there against Lochner, and the Warhawks fans don't like that. For Skolin, you don't want to get busted and get the gate for anything. That would be completely unnecessary. And I think he might have just did that. Boy, oh boy, that is not a good penalty for Skolin there. Again, I might have missed the 5 seconds before that push, but why on earth would you be taking a penalty now for something that's not needed in a one-goal game? Timeout, I think, is the signal for Jake Tomalak's squad. So for the first over there. It's not going to be for Tyler Groth's squad unless you want to talk about Redmond back there on the bench with George Holt. But a 4-3 score line. Again, let me see if I can get the update here in the mix of the timeout. I'll have to refresh this. As far as what we have, as far as who scored in this third for the Warhawks. So I got Tommy Morgan Tommy Morgan and looks like Austin Hickner, who's got another assist. As far as that only goal of the period. This is into the back door. This is a good fight off there for Nate Austin again. But this is all important now for the Sharks to kill this. They have to, and he cannot concede. This is going to be the best chance now for the Warhawks to get back into this game. They're already in it now. They just want to get it tied. Slowly work their way across the left wing and a little bit scrambled here. It's Polosha. Game on his stick. He scores! Short-handed! And he's got a hat trick and a giant goal at that. Monumental goal for Andrew Polosha. Short-handed. And I kind of called that a little bit during the play-by-play. Try to mix in the color where you can. But you had, 3 players thereabouts stuck near that blue line side trying to find a way to get in the zone. And if there was any sort of breakout pass, the Sharks would have one here. And they got it with Polosha. Makes no mistake on the breakaway. Finishes past Nate Austin. That's a giant goal to make it 5-3. Off the touch now, Keppel. It'll be recollected for Spencer Bowman. And 1 minute left to go, and the penalty against Skolin, but a short-handed goal for Andrew Polosha. Makes that one from Tommy Morgan hurt a little bit less as it sits 5-3. Bowman coughs it up right up the gut, and Morton bails his team out. That's the 4th time that's done sort of the Sharks' little unforced errors here, and the Warhawks have scored on 2 of them essentially, and then a penalty. It was a power play tip that goes up out of the air for that 3rd goal from Morgan. And that's why we sit so close at 5:59 of the 3rd. John Hunter with you with the Go Live Sportscast in the Red Rink at Lakeland Arena. We're so happy to bring you the final game of this 5-game homestand. Sharks trying to go perfect 5-0-0 and pick up all the points they can, a straight 10. As this will be set back down here for Theo Goody. Finds the entry. Goody now, what a stick drag. It's knocked away by the stick of Nate Austin. At the net now, Kieran Carlisle circumvent and recover as this is flipped beautifully across ice. Sharks can kill some more time as they got this in the offensive end and right out in front from the combination of Carlisle and Polosha that's been humming all day. Nate Austin's got another save to his total. I'll be watching that Andrew Polosha goal on repeat a couple times, getting set for the story. Got a little birthday celebration for my fiance's sister tomorrow, so that'll keep me a little bit busy before I get typing away. And then I got to get everything finished before Wednesday in that game alongside with Cooper Hopkins and the Flames and the Red Wings. Now toward the right side now, Lambin hold as he takes a hit back in behind the net. Picked up off the flip from Nolan Baldrika as we are inside the final 5 of period number 3. Sharks up by a couple of goals, but that net pull is probably still coming. Lochner try to find a feed through, and Baldrika, you got Polosha behind him who just scored. Baldrika off the leave. Here's Polosha on his backhand, look for a lift. Could cancel off the stick of Nate Austin. Chipped in off the glass, but not out. Sharks have possession near the right side blue line. Sent toward the net combination back pass. Here's a touch from Prober looking for a cross ice one-timer. And that one's knocked away. It'll flip the ice feed as this will be pushed ahead here for the Warhawks. And right in the glove of Ian. Couple of very close games. I think by the time I go ahead and get some food and everything else, my mom's going to be a little upset that I didn't throw the feed across in time. I know they've been busy for inventory, but a couple of these games have been very close. Probably expected this one to not be so much, but a couple of really good ones here to end this homestand. Now toward the right side, Dot. You settle back down from Tommy Morgan, then giving up. Bowman. And off the leave, it's Brendan Sherwalk. And at the point, this one's tipped. Good save by Austin as we're down to the final 4 minutes. That goal from Andrew Polsha shorthanded was gigantic. That's restored it back to a 2-goal lead. That's as much as the Sharks have led by pretty much all game. It's been nip and tuck and close. Good combination hit there, and this one will go up into the netting, and we'll get a stoppage of play at 3:43. So I'm just looking over on the side of the Four Eyes whether or not Nate Austin's going to get the hook here for the extra attacker, as this is in the D zone end. I'm looking at him motioning toward the bench, but they say probably stick with it for another, I would say, minute and 40 seconds. It's usually the cutoff time. I like to throw that out when we can. And off the tie-up number, that was Eddie Canyon's number, usually number 20. That was out in this game, and now this will be picked up for McComas. Another glove save for Nate Austin. He's got a lot of work out today, but he should be very proud about what he's done with his team today, and so should the Warhawks in general. I know you want to get a win, you want to get something to feel good about. Again, they're still in that possibility with 3:30 left, but both games they've played against Waterford. That's, again, as we said, 5-4 yesterday against the Shadow, but 2 games the Shadow probably should have won, you could talk about. I know it's disingenuous to say against the Sharks on their home ice from yesterday, but they had the lead in both of those games and couldn't hold it. Warhawks have never had it, but they've always kept it close. McComas is off. 3:13 left in the third. You know, I like to say this too. If I end up getting a Sharks jersey myself or get that specialized, I'd like to put a number 7 on there because that one's unused, and that's the number I would always use in EASHL when winning championships alongside Nick Edwards and everything else we started from the 360, PS4, PS5. So that would be pretty cool to have that with a personalized in the back. And just got to put some PvP and media director on that side for the Sharks as well. If Mama Shark can do it, I can do it too. So this just goes back in behind the end boards. Jake Prober have it in his own end. Good for an outlet pass. Hunter Keppel, we'll see if he's on sides. That's a glove save for Nate Austin. I thought he might have had a little bit of a skate blade in the air, but Hunter Keppel still got him some breakaway practice against Nate, and he stood up to the challenge once again. So I know we're getting close to the end of this game, and I hate to do this because I know it's as close as it is, but I'm going to try to see if I can also go back to the league website and kind of give you an idea of where the Sharks are going to go next during this road stand, as this is another glove save for Nate Austin. So the Sharks are going to be on the road for 5. After this broadcast is done, they got another weekend back-to-back. They will be in St. Ignace, and then they will be in Sheboygan to take on the Wendigo. After that, on the 21st, they play the Warhawks at Buffalo Wild Wings. January 3rd, they will have the Warhawks again in that same spot. And then they finish with the Shadow in Fraser on January 10th. That'll be their 5-game road stand moniker. We will not be back on the air with you on the Sharks end until January 17th. That will be in the Red Rink at 7:30, although the Shadow again will have a home game against the Sharks on the 10th, and the Shadow also have another one of those games during the Sharks 5-game road stand. Go Live should have those for you. I might be following along in on that side as far as the comments section, as long as I have the updated rosters as well to give those updates, because I want to kind of see what's going around in the league. Bowman. And off the lead, he tried a combination there with Polsha, but this one is sticked away. Now Lochner on a one-on-one. He's just trying to buy some time for reinforcements. Worked his way on his backhand. Good skate there for Lochner to get around 3 Sharks. They'll kill time, put it back in their own end, so Nate Austin cannot change. I'm still waiting to see whether or not he's going to go to the bench as we are underneath 90 seconds. Sharks have possession here. It is Bowman on the left wing. Up high. This one hit the glass. Be sent back down and off the backhand. Sharks are about 70 seconds away from going 5-0-0 on this homestand and banking all 10 points that they could. Here's a slapper for Groth. This one tipped, and it'll go just wide. I had him on the gambling man in the score sheet today for a goal. He came pretty close. See if you can try to hunt for one if you saw my post. Picked on the backhand now. Boom, it scores! He had some insurance at 6-3. Captain C gets it done at 51.5. So I would add a little more to the score line. It's tough against Nate Austin because he had a good night. 6-3. The Sharks look like they're going to be taking this one home. See if I can do one more update as far as before we go off the air, because it's going to be a while since I'll be back here with you as far as those score lines. The Alpena 45ers now lead 9-2 over the Wendigo, and on the last check it's still 2-0 Shadow over the Voyagers. That is not updated after more than that, so that's still pretty close as the Warhawks go off sides. They don't like that. Sharks now say, hey, let's come on back, as the bench has been as vocal as it's been since the second period when they catcalled Jake Perober. So they want to get set to celebrate at the Sharks Club. I'm going to be a little bit misty-eyed as far as being away from the boys for as long as it's been, but you get to enjoy 5 straight games. It feels good to get some unblemished action that's put all in a row and put a little bow on this one. Flip back down the ice for Nate Austin, as this will be recollected across the blue line side. Stick chop out of the air. One more touch here for the Warhawks, as this one's flipped down in the final 15 seconds. Here's Justin McComas. Wilkowski now. One touch pass across. This will be knocked away from Nate Austin. But that is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. The Sharks win all 5 games in the homestand. They take another 2 points. Depending on what happens again with the Shadow, they beat the Voyagers today. They will get another cushion. They win a 6-3. So before I close out, again, our next broadcast for the Sharks, it's going to be a while. The Go Live is going to have everything covered here for the Shadow. They got a couple home games, but we won't see here for the Sharks side until 2026, January 17th, Saturday, 7:30 against these same Warhawks. As far as what I'm working on, a couple Red Wings games next week, Wednesday, Thursday at John Reinott. And as we get closer to the new year, going to try to lock back into the World